Hey, welcome to Forehead Fables podcast. This episode features the eccentric millionaire libertarian presidential candidate John McAfee, creator of McAfee antivirus software, huge supporter of cryptocurrency, and currently on the lam for tax evasion and the suspected murder of his neighbor in Belize. Mr. McAfee was bored during his quarantine from the whole COVID-19 virus thing and agreed to come on to this stupid little show. I prepared 4 pages of questions, intense questions, because he only agreed to be on the show for 30 minutes. And by the end of it, I had asked him 2 questions. He's certainly an interesting guy. So without further ado, Mr. John McAfee.
Fuck me. Another sip of my tequila, excuse me, the proper way. No one's allowed to fucking leave. Fuck yes! I'm out of food.
Wait, so what if you want to go get some chicken nuggies down at McDonald's?
Well, I don't have that luxury. Pure methamphetamine. The overwhelming majority of the population is still human. Does that make any sense? Janice, whoever this motherfucker is, put him on the list.
You seem to be awfully knowledgeable on like cryptocurrencies and stuff. Now, I'm kind of an idiot when it comes to tech stuff, right? Why have like the majority of cryptos why have they fallen during this economic downturn?
See, we're looking at crypto from the wrong perspective. You're looking at, okay, I need to convert my crypto to some currency afterwards in order to make it useful, right?
Yeah.
There are tens of thousands of us, me being one. I don't have a bank account. I do not have a credit card. I do not use currencies.
At all?
At all. When people ask me, because most of the people I might consult for consultation.
Yeah.
Before we start, can you pay me in Monero? If not, then I'm sorry.
Wait, so what if you want to go get some chicken nuggies down at McDonald's?
Well, I don't have that luxury.
Oh.
But you can buy houses, cars, shoes, bulletproof vests, all kinds of clothes, everything you could possibly imagine. When Janice and I went underground in July of last year, our last hotel stay was at a hotel in London exclusively to be paid in crypto. So there are many of us that, why should I give a shit what happens to the dollar?
Yeah.
We don't use it, we don't see it, we don't convert to it or from it.
Okay.
And why the fuck would we care about it?
Huh. I just figured because it was its own entity, not like tangibly connected to other currencies in any way. Like I was baffled when when everything dropped off during this whole Corona thing. I was baffled that it dropped off too.
Who cares? It only dropped off in relation to some exchange which we do not even acknowledge. We have our own currency.
I get what you're saying. Okay, yeah, in relation to its value to the U.S. dollar. Okay.
Why do we give a shit what our relative value to the dollar is? We don't use it. We don't exchange to it.
Okay.
Why in the fuck would we care?
See, I told you I was an idiot. You got to explain this like I'm a 5-year-old.
No, it's a new world economy.
Yeah.
Sub-world. A sub-world economy that actually fucking functions, one in which there's nothing you cannot purchase. And my employees, when people work for me, subcontract, they're all paid in one of 2 cryptos. Either DAI for those who want stability, or Monero for those who want privacy.
So you're off that whole Bitcoin thing. You're on
What
Monero
Bitcoin?
and
I was never on a Bitcoin thing. What you mean the joke about you realize Bitcoin is the most first of all, let me explain a little bit about who I am. Um, the same week that I said, by the way, this is where Bitcoin maximalists, so those people that have no clue, are going, Bitcoin's going to be 10,000, it's going to be 15,000, it's going to be 20,000, which it got to.
yeah,
And I'm going, God, you fucking maximalist. So I go, no, Bitcoin's going to be $1 million. Or I'll eat my dick. Now, please, people, anybody who can multiply should multiply $1 million times 21 million coins. If you do that, you will find a number greater than the gross domestic product of the entire continent of North America, Mexico, Central America, America, Canada. Yes, please, people get real. What idiot would accept that and not laugh? And most people did. The minimalists, okay, the ones of us who know that the future is in privacy coins, has to be, if we're going to survive as a species without a totalitarian world government. You're getting me off on a thread where I will just rant
yeah.
forever.
I
Okay,
could
so I'll
tell
stop
you were
here.
getting into it.
Yeah, fuck that shit. Let me take another sip of my tequila. Excuse me. The proper way.
yeah.
Salt between those you can see between the nah, who cares? Can't see it. Anyway, between the thumb and forefinger, that little crotch, the lime, tequila. First the salt, tip of the tongue only. Tequila
Well, god damn, son, take the whole thing.
and lime.
I thought that was going to be a sip.
Ah,
Jesus.
was that not a sip?
No, that was a fucking big ass glass of tequila. Is what that was.
Ah, there it is.
I'm drinking
Ah.
Diet Coke over there. What? Where are you at, by the way?
You have not been keeping up much with me. Oh, no, I can't tell you that, for heaven's
Oh,
sake,
you
good
can't.
Lord.
Okay.
After we got out of jail in the Dominican Republic, Janice and I, and my staff, my crew, we went to London and went underground.
Yeah.
Like I said, we stayed at a hotel in London and paid in crypto. It's great. Everything. Room service, tips, food, extras. There were no hookers on the menu that I could see, but soon.
Yeah.
Um, everything in crypto.
Huh.
Checkout was trivial and painless. So
Well, I saw
imagine
that
this.
you had been like traveling the world, and I just every time like I saw anything about you, you were like, I'm here," and I didn't know if you were somewhere you could disclose right now, because I've only ever
Oh,
left
good
Florida
Lord,
like
no.
twice.
Oh, okay.
Ever in my
No,
life.
so all right. So no, after we escaped the U.S. in January of last year, good God, has it been that long? Like I said, um, we went to the Bahamas, where there is no extradition for the crime of IRS fraud,
Yeah.
whatever that means, because there's no income tax in the Bahamas. So if there's no tax, not paying a non-existing tax is not a crime. And according to international law, I cannot be extradited. We were all arrested. Anyway, it's a long fucking story. You don't want to hear it. But 4 days later, this is not my first rodeo. We were released after at first going, Mr. McAfee, you've done nothing wrong. We're keeping your boat. But you are going back to the United States. Now, what a deal that is. Can you imagine the CIA station officer in the Dominican Republic going, listen, okay, Prime Minister, if we gave you a $75 Buddy Davis sport fisher yacht with 5 staterooms, dining area, living room, and tons of other fun stuff. All you have to do is collect that mofo, John McAfee, and send him back to us. If I were the prime minister, not knowing or even if I knew John McAfee, I'd say, well, "Sorry, John, you're an old motherfucker. You've had a good life. Bye bye.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about me taking your boat." So, because what ended up happening is I won by not going back to America. Instead, where did I go? London, which is
London.
where I asked to go to begin with. So, in any
Yeah.
case, now we were not allowed to take our boat. We were allowed to take our bodies, our money, our valuables, but not the boat.
Oh, so that's
Now,
still over there, chilling.
now,
Did they seized it?
I want you to imagine, just imagine if this did happen. I'm not saying it did.
Yeah.
I admit I am as great a conspiracy theorist as any person on this planet. Because if you do not think conspiracies exist, what's a conspiracy? Two or more people going, you know what? Uncle Ted, fuck me. I mean, he's 89. He's blind, deaf. I didn't know his old man. He may live on for years. In a vegetative state, that's what draining us dry. So, Sally, what say you and I in his misery now? Do you think that shit does not happen?
Well, it happens all the time, man. Yeah, actually, one of the things
That's
I
a
was going to ask you about.
conspiracy. That's called a conspiracy. So if you say, yeah, John McAfee believes in conspiracies, fuck yes, more than you could ever imagine.
Well, I was going to ask you, like, do you think it's any coincidence that this whole COVID virus happened to come out of a wet market that was blocks away from a virology research center?
You do not want to get me started on this. All
Yeah.
right. First of all, okay, I want to tell you, Janice is my experience, which has, I don't know, where are you, by the way? What part of the
Florida,
world?
Tallahassee, Florida.
Oh, it has not happened to you yet.
No, not yet. We got a couple
You
cases
poor,
in the county.
unsuspecting motherfucker. Let me tell you, us, okay, it happened. Okay, the worst lockdown on the planet was in Spain, where no shit. Even today, they're publishing photos of police beating old ladies for
Yeah.
being out on the street without permission. Seriously, I mean, it's gotten to this extent in Spain. So now, the day before lockdown, we arrived to visit a very close friend. The next morning, we wake up. No one's allowed to fucking leave your front door. Doesn't matter where. Hotels shut down. Businesses shut down. Coffee shops, restaurants, shoe stores, sunglass salesmen. Nothing.
Huh.
No one allowed outside except for two reasons. One, you're dying or whatever and need to go to the hospital, and you goddamn well better be going to the hospital. Or two, I'm out of food. Then you go to one of the large supermercados and you buy food, you go back home. That's it. That's it. And if you actually want to go to El Supermercado, it was like this. Only one person allowed in a car, including the driver. There are no passengers. allowed. People were being arrested because people who were blind were being chauffeured to go get food.
Yeah.
The official answer is, why did you know not get the food? Why did she need to come? I mean, the bitch was blind, wasn't she? Isn't that what you fucking said? No, it's gotten to this. I'm telling you the fucking truth.
You know, I go to the
Anyway, so
supermarket here and the
anyway,
shelves are
so
empty.
so anyway, I'm going. Miss Janice, we can't put up with this shit. So as soon as it was imposed, I began organizing a plan of escape, which I am afraid, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot divulge to you in any way, shape, or form, because it would implicate others. But in
Yeah.
any case, we got the fuck out of Spain in 8 days. We were fucking out of that place to a place which seemed halfway sane. Now we are under lockdown, not quite as bad as Spain, but still, we got to have goddamn reasons to leave our fucking homes. Well, it's like, whoa, are you crazy? No, people out on the street, if you're by yourself walking down an empty fucking street, you're picked up, questioned, not thrown in jail necessarily, but why were you out? Fresh air. We don't understand that. And
Huh.
getting sun on your face and listening to birds sing and things like that have no fucking meaning in life compared to the fear we must instill in you that if you do not obey us, you're gonna die horribly
Well,
and
why don't you go to like an undeveloped country, you know, where they're not gonna where they're not gonna weld you into your
Let me
fucking
ask you.
house.
Can I ask you a question? Listen,
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry, but that just deserves another swig.
Dude, go for it.
How old are you again?
I look like I'm 12, but I'm 28.
At 28, you're still, I mean, pretty much a child.
Yeah, I am.
Can we be honest with each other?
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Good. My young man, life is not what you think it is in any way, shape, or form. As I recently said, you are looking at it through a fucking veil, and that veil is fear. Fear that the status quo of your existence, waking in the morning, getting in a car and driving to an office and spending 8 hours in a windowless, airless environment with artificial light, returning home again and doing this 5 out of every 7 days of your existence. 5/7 of your life, people. And you say you are not slaves. Now, if you had to do that, not just to survive, but to complete yourselves by going on Monday morning, thank God, I get to go back to work. And your heart's thumping, and you're excited, which for every job I have had for the past 50 years, that's exactly how I felt. And if that didn't happen on a Monday morning, I resigned and wandered into the world to see what was next.
Huh.
Because seriously, people, 5/7, the overwhelming majority of your life spent doing something you don't truly love. is not the purpose of existence, this marvelous, miraculous thing sensed through amazing receptacles, taste, and touch, sight, sound, smell,
Well, like,
all.
how old are you now?
Me?
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm 14. However, I am in fact 74. Now,
How
how
does it feel that you're like you've spent like, like 35 years asleep in a bed when you think about it, like every day you spend
I want to
almost
promise you
half the
one
day
thing.
asleep?
I want to promise you something. I am not that person.
Oh,
Keep in
no.
mind, my favorite drugs have always been cocaine, methamphetamines, and when the newer cathinones came out, the entire range of cathinone stimulants. So, no, I promise you, I have spent less than half as much of my life in bed.
Sleeping?
Well,
Yeah.
wrong. I mean, I spent quite a lot of time in bed, quite awake with a partner in endurance matches. Let's exclude that. Then, yes, I promise, less than half of what you spent.
Okay, I got a question for you. How do you sustainably use meth when like all the horror stories you see are people with like their teeth gone and everything? You seem well put together. You got, millions in the bank. Like, how does someone be successful and also use meth?
It's kind of like going into a weight lifting contest, having
Yeah.
never lifted weights again, right? In which you will kill yourself.
Yeah.
If you intend to do what you say you intend to do, it's the same fucking thing. I mean, if you're going to get into meth, you must do various things depending on how deep you want to go. I go as deep as possible to every drug I've ever taken. Now, a heavy, a heavy user of crank, right? Not crack, crank, which is the finely ground, pure methamphetamine. We praise thee, oh Lord. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Then you'd better be prepared to do the following: be on a strict fucking vegan diet, fresh vegetables only, drink as much water as you can possibly tolerate. Um, among other things, do yoga. I mean, do yoga out the fucking kazoo. I started the relational yoga mandiram in Colorado. Thousands of students graduated from my yoga courses, while I was stoned out of my fucking mind on methamphetamines and trim as you can be. And these are my fucking teeth still at the age of 74. Because you can't just jump into the ocean at, I don't know, 40 degrees Fahrenheit, whatever that is. It's about 3 to 4 degrees Celsius, centigrade, whatever you want to call that anymore, without a fucking dry suit, something to keep you afloat, something to ask for assistance, like at least a goddamn flare gun. Yes, who fucking knows? But if you go, oh yeah, I want to experience what it's like to jump into the Atlantic in January. Okay, I can arrange that for you if you'd like, and make sure that you're neither harmed nor nor mutilated nor killed. Okay, yeah, I can arrange that. It's going to take some time, some study, and a bunch of other shit. If you really want to take a drug, you goddamn well better understand what it will demand of you. I have always done that reverently with every drug I have ever taken.
Huh.
And there are none that I have not.
I take caffeine. That's about it.
Let me tell you something. Well, you know what? I believe I've never tried it. I don't know a single substance you can't hallucinate from if you take enough of it. And
Really?
try. If you doubt me, you can. I don't know. Used to be you could in the drugstore buy caffeine tablets, right? Or you either dissolved and chewed them, or in some way ingested them. Try ODing on it by a factor of 10. They take no more than 3 per day. Take 30 and then see what happens. And I promise you, caffeine is one fine fucking stimulant.
It's the best there is, man. It's the only one for me, but
Well, okay then.
yeah, I think we're running out of time maybe for you, but
I'm sorry. Yes. Well, I'm sorry. We've already done so. However, I feel like I have unnecessarily taken your time by taking center stage and
but that's why
rambling
you're
about
here, man.
shit
You're the guest.
that, but I'm rambling about shit that doesn't matter, if you understand. So,
Okay, so the people that watch this show are like primarily young, uh, stupid, poor kids like myself, and you are a self-made millionaire twice over, and so it's not a fluke, you know? Like you obviously know some shit. I want to hypothetical here. Let's say you're 18 and you live in Nebraska working at a McDonald's. What are your what first steps would you take to not being a poor kid working at McDonald's?
well, let's take McDonald's out of the equation for just a second
Yeah.
and talk about poor kids. Um, you need to define what that means. Poor in terms of unable to fend for themselves, in terms of a simple livelihood, being able to clothe themselves, their loved ones, shelter themselves, their loved ones. I was born at the end of World War II in a shattered England. My father was an American soldier, and my mother a susceptible young English woman whose husband was fighting in France at the time. So I was born out of wedlock at that time, as they called it.
Hmm.
Went to America when I was 2, to the heart of the Appalachians, which, if you know anything about America geography, is at least in America, the poorest part of America
Yeah.
by any measure of poor. And that's where I was raised, people. You don't get any poorer than that.
No, West
And I
Virginia,
go,
I think, is still a shithole to this day.
well, I was in Southwest Virginia, a little town called Norton. It's right on the border of West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And through the coal mining area of America.
Yeah.
Fuck me. In any case, from that, I didn't plan to be this. Like when I was there, especially at the age of about 6, what I wanted to be a cowboy, able to shoot the bad people who walk into a saloon with respect. I mean, a real cowboy with a horse. You
Yeah.
understand, right? Could that child have possibly imagined this? At no point in my life could I have imagined this, nor in your life, nor in the life of any human being where you are now. Go back to when you were 6, or as far back as you can remember, and ask yourself, what did you want to be then? How far removed from, from that image are you now?
Okay, so
And this is advice for young men and only men. I apologize to the female, and actually the more important part of our audience. But yet, this is just for men. All you need is a thumb and an opposable finger, able to pick things up and do normal things like humans, and of anything more than half of a brain. Success for you would be measured like this: do nothing but figure out what the opposite sex is willing to spend time and energy on, and more importantly, assets. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And then gigolo your way through life, owning only what you're wearing and whatever Swiss bank accounts you may have fortunately preemptively put aside, and until you can no longer do that. And if you're fortunate, you might be able to do that for your entire life. I mean, I have met men in their 80s who are getting paid for their attention.
huh.
This is the facts of life, people. So now, what more do you need? Do you need to spend time making a fucking company for what? Power, prestige, the fact that people go, whoa, John McAfee, he made McAfee antivirus. Oh, he must be an important person. Oh, no, that's all bull crap, people. What's important is not outside of
Yeah.
yourself. It's not outside of yourself. It's inside of you. Fuck everybody else. Who cares what they think? I mean, I'm 74. Excuse me, my love. 74. Oh man, sleeping every night with a 37-year-old. To me, that's young. To you, that may be old, middle age. To me, that's half my fucking age. Exactly, to be precise. Um, and being allowed to freely enjoy that presence. Well, fuck anybody outside of my reality that thinks whatever you want to think about me. Because for some reason, it might be a flaw in the fabric of space time, but for some reason, people's thoughts, at least for me, don't creep in through the corners and crevices of the room while I and my wife are enjoying our conjugal rights, so to speak.
All right, so
Did that make any sense?
yes, it did.
Not to me.
Not to you.
I don't know, man. Stop
All right.
me when I
All right.
when I it don't make sense. All right.
All right, I
Maybe I
got my
never.
last question.
Thank God.
All right. All right, last question. And I think this is the greatest question anyone has ever wanted
Oh,
to ask you.
whoa, whoa, whoa! Hang on, whoa! Stop.
All right.
I need reinforcement. If what you're saying is actually true.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks.
I'm telling you, man, everybody's been hankering to ask this one. Okay.
5 more seconds. So I have my my chemical
Gotcha.
fortification. 5 seconds. Well, my Tai Chi fortification. There we are. Go ahead.
Okay.
That's the
I
question.
polled 4,900 people for this, and I'll tell you the results afterwards, but I gotta ask your take. Do you stand or do you sit while wiping your ass?
Me?
Yeah.
Why would I fucking stand?
That's what I said. That's what I
Oh, one
said.
second. Hang on. Let's walk through this, shall we? Let's look at the human anatomy. Let's look especially at the human derriere, the back. I know more about that than any now. Well, I'm a butt man. Listen, Mom, the day I was 7, I think, I was being babysat by a neighbor, a girl. I think she was 14. Um, and she just bent over in front of me. And from that moment, I had been a butt man. Now, I don't know what Freud would say about that, or Carl Jung, but nevertheless, it focused the direction for my life. But go ahead. The question was again.
Do you stand or sit while wiping your
You,
ass?
you said if you want the clean vest. Here's the other thing. Where are you? All right. Are you in a fucking war situation? Bullets are flying, right?
No, you're just sitting on the toilet.
You never
Regular
fucking
toilet.
stand. End of goddamn story. Number two, depending on how bad it is, you don't give a shit whether you're standing or sitting. You don't give a shit about anything other than running, hiding, or shooting. Well, in that case, you know what happened, so don't worry about it. I listen, I could go on forever and ever about this, but those who stand up and wipe their fucking asses will never get clean. Look at the chemistry, folks. When you stand, okay, the buttocks flex together. Together. When
That's
you
what I
sit,
said.
hang on, and when they're flexed together, greater force, greater penetration between the cheeks is required to get even 1/10, even 1/10 of the wipage that sitting will give you. Now, if you are in fact an anal fetish sort of person, where having your ass touched is hot news, and you in fact enjoy masturbating while touching your own ass, I recommend standing the fuck up because it'll take you, fuck me, 45 minutes.
Well, do you want to hear the response to this poll of all the
Oh,
people I
absolutely.
asked?
I want to
Yeah,
hear it. Absolutely.
I'm telling you, dude, it's like Invasion of the Pod people. I didn't think anybody stood up while they wiped their ass, but
Nobody stands up.
43% of people, their ass leaves the toilet seat to wipe
No.
their ass. Yeah,
No.
yeah. I'm telling, dude. I found out my mom does it. I found out like
Your mom doesn't.
my mom does it. I'm telling, dude. I bet.
So it's not a new thing then.
No,
Well, unless she's
ask your
been brainwashed as well.
ask your wife.
No.
I guarantee you, she might be one of those.
Miss Janice. An extremely important question. Yeah, because I've never noticed. Well, may have had the opportunity. Do you stand up to wipe your hands or stay seated?
Either or.
Either or. That's spooky because I've never had the or. That is so spooky. I'm sorry.
Either or.
Dude, come
I'm
on.
telling you, they're among
No,
us, man.
please, God, I don't believe this.
They're among us.
Look, please, at least tell me the overwhelming majority of the population is still human.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, they still
43.
sit down.
Oh, which means 57% of us are still human.
Yeah.
The population, what's your mother? This can't be a new phenomenon.
No, people just
Can
didn't
you
want to
ask
talk
your
about
mom? What? It doesn't matter. Except my eyes are starting to water. I had cataract surgery 2 years ago.
it. Yeah.
Supposedly to better my vision, which it did for a while. But now light is extraordinarily painful, and it was ever since the operation. But anyway, that's another thing. I will weep and moan over the sorrows that I have suffered in this life, and move on. two more different things. Yes, I just don't believe it. You're either pulling my leg. Is it April? What was it? April 1st?
No, it's April 2nd. And I
Okay,
did
good.
this poll a week ago.
Okay, so I'm sorry, but Janice said we have time for one more question.
That was it, man.
We have time. Was that it?
That was it. That was the big one.
Thank God, because I've never had. You're right. You're right. That question, I have never. No one's ever asked me that before.
I don't think anybody's ever asked anybody that question before. That's why
I considered. Neither have I considered.
Everybody knew they were right. And it turns out that people have been doing it different the whole time.
Are you shitting me, man? This is insane.
Are you doing another podcast after this?
Yes, I am.
You got to ask him. Does he stand up or sit down? You ask him on his.
Are you kidding me? How do you phrase? How did you phrase it? I'm terrible about phrasing things. You know, I'll go, hey, when you take a shit, what? No, tell me how you phrase the question.
No, that's how you. Just say it like that.
No, I won't. How did you phrase it?
I phrased it. Do you, I gotta ask? Do you stand up or sit down while wiping your ass after shitting? That's what I asked.
Do you stand up? That's fine. I mean, nothing wrong with that phraseology. Do you stand up or sit down while wiping your ass after shitting? Okay. Yeah, it's not rude at all. It's a good.
And then sometimes you get those elite.
And how many respondents again?
4,900.
Not 490, but 4,900. Am I hearing you right?
Yeah, 4,900
respondents.
Yeah.
Motherfucking hell! Right. By the way, Janice, whoever this motherfucker is, put him on the list.
All right. Anyways, it's 1:37. Abby gets home at 3 o'clock. So, you know, if we cut out all the horrible shit that we're probably gonna say, we have to get going. Okay. Impromptu.
This episode is brought to
Could it be? Yeah, people ever stare at you on the bus?
It's to save 10%.
I'm joined today, of course, by Mason.
What's going on, guys?
Swagger Souls,
Howdy.
a.k.a. Horace.
How are you?
Toby on the tally.
Hello.
And a very special guest today. It's Wellen.
Wellen.
How are you, buddy?
Hello. What's going on, bro?
It's very good to have you. We have,
bro?
we have been hanging out with you a little bit here in LA.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, we met for the first time last year at TwitchCon.
Yep.
How you going?
I'm quite well. At the infamous party at TwitchCon.
The infamous party.
Yeah.
Yes, you were there for that, of course.
Yes.
What's your memory of that night at the TwitchCon party?
A little bit hazy at certain moments. I remember Swagger met me right at the door.
Yeah, dude.
Says, Wellen!
Wellen!
And that's the last thing I remember. No, that was a lot of fun.
That was a great night, dude. We spent like 2 hours drinking and cracking up.
Yeah.
That fucking party was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Before we get into any stories like that, why don't you tell us what you do and who you are, and for the people who might not know, like what your channel is, for example, like how do you find yourself here, Wellen?
So I'm youtube.com/Wellen, and I do story time videos. It's kind of how I like to picture it, primarily in a game called Rust, which you guys are all familiar with, and I'm sure many of the viewers are.
Mason's a big Rust boy.
Yeah, our boy Zux. And kind of what I like to see it as, you guys know that meme where it's, you know, the last time someone was online, it's like, night, bro, see you in the morning. Last online 5 years ago.
Right.
And it's like that day, that adventure that you had.
Right.
It's like encapsulating that, turning that into something that's, you know, easily digestible by an audience. I think that's kind of fun.
Those special moments where you meet someone in an online game and you just have a good time, and then
an epic adventure, and then it's
never see them again, maybe.
Yeah, and it's like you remember that, and it's like being able to turn that into something that people can enjoy and kind of appreciate.
Everyone can appreciate together.
Yeah, so it's not story time like telling stories. It's like
a narrative.
Showing a story.
Yeah.
So it's a narrative.
Yeah.
So through my gameplay, I like to tell these stories of things that evolve, people I meet, interesting happenings that occur. And I'm kind of excited to do that in like a vast array of mediums in the future. That's like kind of what I'm interested in.
As in other video games, or as in other?
Yeah, I'd say primarily that. Like I've been playing a bit of Sea of Thieves, a bit of Escape from Tarkov.
My man, Wellen.
So those are the two kind of that I'm really excited about right now. And then of course Rust. That's kind of how I got my start, and,
Right.
and I don't really see that going anywhere either.
It's
Yeah.
really good long form content.
Oh, it's perfect.
It's just like a really nice sit down on the couch or in bed and just jam out a Welland video.
Cozy.
So nice.
Get cozy.
Get cozy to a well.
Last night when we were at the we had to go charge the car. And
The Tesla.
so
and
we
the
were
supercharger.
sitting in the car park, and we're like, it said 2 hours. I'm like, fuck, Welland video. So we put a Welland
Surely.
video on the screen and just
Oh,
sat there
nice.
watching Welland.
Hell yeah.
Were you ever into DayZ? Because I never really played much Rust, but I can definitely relate to what you were talking about, that experience of meeting strangers online. Like DayZ was that game for me. Like
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
I played a ton of it when it was Arma 2 mod.
right.
Like the OG DayZ, I think it was summer, I don't know, maybe like 2012 or something. I played it all summer. But I mean, I didn't even watch YouTube videos like that then. You know,
Right. So you weren't like a Frankie on PC fan? or
No,
anything
no,
like that?
I didn't hear about him till years later.
Oh.
Like, and then people actually, some people have drawn some parallels there,
Right.
kind of in the narrative storytelling type.
Yeah, but
thing.
you don't aimbot. For certain videos.
Did you allegedly?
Spicy
allegedly,
swagger.
allegedly, but pretty much confirmed. Yeah.
Did you ever see Frankie's Rust videos or?
I didn't know he did Rust videos.
Frankie did Rust bits?
Yeah, man, that was some sick vids.
Damn.
Are they still on YouTube?
I'm pretty sure they are.
I'll have to check those
I don't
out.
think I'm
Was it-
amazed that I haven't.
Was it back in
heard that he did.
Legacy?
Back in Legacy, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So that's
okay.
all-
Ancient videos.
I
yeah.
didn't even play Rust then. That's probably why. But I feel like I'm amazed I haven't heard of that.
Oh,
That's-
they were amazing, man.
Oh,
like
sick.
back when Rust was peaking, like he was popping off.
Just put your videos completely to shame. Like,
Yeah.
it is-
Trash. It's been great, guys.
No, it was very similar, like style. I feel like.
One
Yeah.
of the things that I feel, one of the things that I feel like brings your videos out with the storytelling is that you have that second server that you get the like flying cams.
So
and
I
stuff.
recreated it on my private
Yeah,
server. Yeah.
the
Dude,
fact that you go
yeah.
through the effort to recreate
Yeah.
what was happening on the actual server on your private server for the camera
How
angles
long?
is so sick.
How long does it take you to do that stuff? How do you match that up?
So I watched the footage and kind of get a vague idea of what it's going to be like. Everything's recorded by that point. All the gameplay's done. Like the conclusion of the story has occurred. Otherwise, what's the point in going through?
course.
Because some people have this conception that it's like, I'm like, okay, well now before I raid them, I have to recreate it to figure out how it's going to work. It's
Right.
and there's no benefit to that because I try to line it up as best as I can. So I take the seed of the map, which you can find online, and so it's like an exact replica of the map itself, like prop gen, procedurally generated wise. And then I just try to eyeball it, building walls and building gatehouses and keeps and towers and stuff.
Wow.
And so, I mean, if you look very closely, you'll notice little things that are off.
I don't think
No one-
anyone's playing to spot the difference.
Well,
Yeah,
you play
yeah.
the angles too,
Yeah.
so you make it tricky. Like sometimes it's like you'll build a gate, and it's like
Yeah, there's nothing behind it.
Yes. So, but it's really fun doing that. So usually what I do is I make the like all the foundations and of stuff, and then I at here everyone in like my Patreon and Twitch sub Discord. And say, hey guys, I need your help. So I have like 10 little busy worker bees.
Right.
Then I'm like, send them a picture, and they're like, they help me put it up.
Oh,
Does anyone ever
great.
troll
Yeah.
you when you ask them to do that? Does anyone ever not comply or fuck it up for everyone?
So I've come back like a few days later because I do everything that day, all the recording, all the demos and stuff. I've come back, and the thing is, I'm spawning in, hundreds of thousands of resources. So I've come back, and there's just like massive fortresses like 10 feet away from
Right.
the set piece, and it's like,
And you kind of have
who
to.
did this?
You just remove that shit, right? You're
Oh
admin.
yeah, I'm like, delete.
Oh,
Fucking
no.
Godzilla. Fucking bastard.
Boom.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I mean, you must genuinely love that process of kind of crafting the story, right? I mean,
Mhm.
how did you actually say how long you'd spend on the average video? Like,
Yeah.
So I'd say in terms of like a typical Rust gameplay one will be like anywhere between 6 and 18 hours of footage.
right.
So there's kind of a little bit of variety there. And then building those sets, I mean, if it's really big, it'll take, I don't know, 5-6 hours or something.
Right.
And then editing and stuff, I mean, that's 40, 50 hours or so.
Wow.
Fuck.
What's more
Fuck.
difficult, getting the good footage, like those like special moments on Rust, or the process of putting the video together and working out the editing and the angles and things like? Because I know with DayZ, because I used to record and try and make DayZ videos, the hardest part was always just getting the content in the first place. Like, maybe you would even have like an insanely good day on DayZ, and then the footage would be corrupt, or something would go wrong, or the game would crash, or
man, I've had those moments where you put in hours and hours, and you have this shining beacon right at the end, and you're like, this is how it's gonna be, this is how it's gonna end, it's gonna be magnificent, and then it just all goes to shit somehow.
Yep. No, I feel it. I've been trying to make another Rust video for like over a year. It's fucking impossible.
Yeah, it's because you just suck at the game.
Well,
It's because I was trying to always do a narrative thing like you, but I would go in and talk to people. Now everybody recognizes me whenever I open my mouth, so it's impossible.
Is that a problem for you as well, getting recognized? It must be getting pretty up there.
Yeah, and the thing is, my bad fake accents are also beginning to get recognized.
Yeah.
Because I need to branch out, find some new ones.
Well, you've been working on your Australian accent while you were here. Last night we were...
What's going on, bro?
Or was it the night before? Yeah, you were just we were pretty drunk. And Ron was just walking through the streets of LA, just, how you going?
How you going?
Yeah, no, it's
You
coming
dog.
along. It's coming along. You should join the Australian servers and try and blend in and see if they notice.
Our servers are toxic.
Oh, they're brutal.
Fuck.
They're brutal.
The most toxic.
Yeah.
Which is like, I had the most fun on them originally.
I miss him.
But now I can't.
I'm too far from him right now.
What? Because you're here in LA?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are still here in LA, by the way, to the audio listeners. We're here on the couch set in our Airbnb. This is the second podcast we've shot here, although I'm not sure when this one will come out, but hopefully it's okay. We've had a couple issues with the audio last time, but going strong, boys. Should be easy. I had a really good question for you, but I've forgotten it. So Swagger Souls, take it away.
Take it away.
How long have you been making content on YouTube?
So I started, I think it was 2017. I remember I made this video with, it was in Rust, and I was creeping up behind a guy, and this guy's hitting a rock node with a pick, and so I'm like creeping up because you make no sound when you're crouched in Rust.
Right.
So I'm lurking up from like 50 meters away, just do, and I put Carmina Burana on it. Carmina Burana, it's like da 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 da, and then right as I hit him, it like drops. So that was my first video. I think in 2017. It was like 15, 20, 30 seconds long, and it's demonetized. No.
Of course.
Because back in the day, you know, floppy cocks were hanging out, you know.
Yeah, only recently they added like a censoring option that didn't fuck you on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because
now they have underwear.
The blurring didn't work.
Yeah, the blurring still got you in trouble, and it barely worked.
Yeah, with the blurring, if you were at a certain angle, you just see a cock
or
some titties.
And the best part is the blurring. If the tits were too big, you just get
you just get the nipple poking out of the blur. The one thing you don't want.
So it's like, that's the most risque pod.
Did Rust always have the censorship option?
Yeah.
From the
Yeah,
beginning?
but it was the blur.
Was it on by default, or did you have to toggle it?
You had to toggle it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so outrageous, actually,
Cocks
when you think
and
about
balls
it.
and
That's so outrageous.
There's actually like a lot of survival games that have that, where you start fully naked, and the only way to change it is to go into the settings.
Conan Exiles.
Yeah, Conan, you would
that game
swim
was
through
shit.
the water and your
Well,
dick
so
would
apparently it
trail.
got better. I played it right when it came out, and I was like, this
It was
isn't
dog
for me.
shit.
Yeah.
But it was early access, but they just wanted to go ka-ching. But I
You
think
could pick your boobs and your penis
dude.
size, though. That was...
that thing. It was
Yeah.
just it was an ARC clone,
Yeah.
and ARC is garbage as well.
Yeah, that's why it's one of the most popular games still played at the moment.
ARC
Is it seriously?
It has been and has been for pretty
How
much
the
since
fuck
it
do
came
you
out.
play that game when the dinosaurs are like lerping around, like teleporting back and forth?
They don't.
They don't anymore?
They haven't done that since launch.
Are you serious?
Wait, so is it
I
actually-
played it like
Ark
2
is-
years after launch. And it was the most buggy mess.
I've probably got like 500 hours in Ark, and I have like never had any issues with it.
Really?
Apart from when it very first came out, because you needed a beast of a PC to run it.
So do you vouch for it then still? You think it's a good game?
Oh, I wouldn't play it now, but like it's still a really good game. I'm just really bored
Hey,
of it.
Wellen, want to play some Ark and wait 42?
I get a
dude.
lot of requests to play
Yeah,
Ark,
dude,
actually.
let's wait
in
42
YouTube comments.
hours to tame a Tyrannosaurus.
Well, most people play on servers where it's like an hour.
I'll meet you in 2017 and we'll kill it.
Oh, dude, yeah, hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Travel back in time.
Yeah.
Oh.
I once, when I was really hard into Ark, I spent 18 hours by myself taming a dinosaur and then killed it.
I think I remember you
Oh
telling me
my
that.
It was
actually.
like, I had it for like an hour, and then I was it was getting attacked by like a bug dinosaur, and I was attacking the bug, and I didn't realize that I was also hitting the toe of the dinosaur that I tamed, and I killed it.
Wow.
It
How many times do you have to stab him in the toe to kill him?
Quite a lot, probably.
You didn't hear his cries of pain?
I think you do more damage to your own dinosaurs, because it's like if you want to get rid of them.
Oh.
That's a stupid fucking feature.
That might be wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's just a really shit level dino or something.
Maybe you should have. What was it? 18 hours in a row of training, or was it over a couple of streams?
No, he was hitting it.
It was
in the
18
toe for 18 hours.
I was a big Ark nerd. I loved it.
How good would it be to be able to travel back in time, like aware of when YouTube trends would hit? Like you knew when Ark was gonna blow up, or when DayZ was gonna blow up. You travel back in time, or Fortnite. Oh my god, dude! I'm convinced that all of the really big YouTubers have that ability, and they're ahead of the game. Ninja predicted Fortnite; he had already seen it coming from the future.
The thing about Ark,
the purple
You're on
hair, the blue hair, and the
You're on
headband.
TF2, then you're on to Overwatch, then
TF2.
you're on to Fortnite. Yeah, dude.
The thing about a lot of the games, like there are so many games out there that still have really decent player bases, but no one watches content on them.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Ark
actually.
is one of those, I think.
Well, does Ark have like a really big Chinese audience? Could that be part of it?
Maybe.
Because you always forget about like, I guess the Asian continent is such like a massive thing for a game. Like there's so
they're keeping
many
PUBG
gamers.
alive.
There are so many gamers over there.
India's
Really?
doing, yeah, dude. They're all on PUBG Mobile. So
Right.
much so the government tried to ban it.
I went back and played PUBG recently. It was okay.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I had fun.
Yeah, we tried recording, but it was kind of.
It was good.
It was good.
The
It
other
was good.
the other sessions were good. The sessions without you.
Guys, this will be me. I'm leaving the show. It's been fun.
No, I just didn't go to the con, but it was fun. I had a good time.
What made you want to start making videos? Like, what was it in your head where you're like, oh, I want to just start creating things and throwing it online?
So I think it was definitely centered around Rust. The fact that I basically had probably like 1,000, 1,500 hours in it at that point, and I was like, well, this is taking up a large proportion of my life at this point. I should probably have some kind of productive outlet coming from this. And so, I boot up Windows Movie Maker.
Is that what you started on?
Oh, yep.
Gang.
I boot that bad boy up. I Google how to zoom in on Windows Movie Maker. I realize that is not a functionality.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking garbage.
Well, there's a zoom, but it takes it like zooms in very slightly, and it's pre-built, and you can only do it like very little. So it's really scuffed.
Oh my god. What do you use now? Premiere?
I use Vegas Pro.
Oh my god.
Use Premiere.
He's a Vegas guy.
All these elitists are telling me this.
It's not elitist. It's just like, I was the same way. You don't want to switch because you're like, then I have to learn a whole nother program. It's going to put me back. You spend a week. Spend a week learning the program. You will thank yourself. Save yourself so many hours.
This is what I told Swagger Souls, and he's never thanked me for it, but he doesn't regret his decision. Would you say that you're a pretty creative person generally? Like,
yeah. I mean, well,
What
it's a vaguely pretentious thing to say.
Well,
what were you doing before YouTube?
So pretty directly before that, I was really into the battle rap circuit. So,
are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you actually serious?
Yeah, I traveled
rapper.
around a lot doing rap battles.
Really?
Yeah.
That is insane. How did I not know that?
You haven't heard his rap?
Are you fucking with me? I can't
No,
tell if you're
yes,
fucking
You
with me.
haven't heard Wellen rap?
No, I had no
You
idea.
haven't heard his shit?
Is this a bit, guys? Be
No,
honest.
it's not a bit.
You haven't heard his rap that he put out?
I've traveled. Yeah, I traveled like up and down the East Coast.
Really?
Went to London to do a rap battle. Yeah.
He's very legit.
Were they like freestyles, or would you write them about like the person you were?
Oh, it's like rap battles. So basically, the way it works is in the early 2000s, it used to be, you'd show up and you wouldn't know your opponent,
right?
And it would all be off the top of the head, and so you'd be getting things like you got Tom Cruise's mom's shoes, and
Right,
like
okay.
Brad Pitt's dad's kicks type thing. Like, what are those? And it's
Okay.
like now it's totally changed. So about 90% of rap battles now are pre-written. And so you know who you're battling, and you can do like insanely complex character breakdowns. People bring, there's iconic moments now where people show up in suits, and there's caskets and stuff, and there's it's a whole performance art piece now as opposed to
just people sitting in a club just going, fuck you.
Yeah.
Your
that
mom
kind of-
gay, bro.
Your mom gay.
Wait,
Well,
so
the Eminem kind of shit.
Yeah.
The more
And I mean,
hardcore.
what's funny is like those are freestyle battles, but I mean, all that stuff is people would show up in that scene, and the people who were dominating in the freestyle scene
Right.
They
coming-
write and
we're-
memorize.
Yeah, where we're coming with pre-meds anyway.
wait, so were these things filmed when you were
Yep.
competing? So
Yep.
there's like footage on the internet
Yes.
of you.
I used to go by Luminous.
Really?
Luminous.
Dude, I'm loving this. This is such a. I had no idea this was a thing. That is insane. That is so interesting. Wait, so how did you find yourself getting into that?
So I had a background in poetry and creative writing a little
Yeah,
bit.
dude.
Hey. And so what's cool is just like quick segue that manifests itself in videos now being, waxing poetic on these little video game narrative experiences.
Mm.
And so, but I was watching, I'm sure it popped up on YouTube. It's all YouTube focused,
Right.
centric. So I was watching YouTube and these rap battles popped up. And I remember someone said, you ain't the type to light the steam. This cat pops in the sky like the Lion King. And
Mhm.
so it's like that's like a gun line. So
Yeah.
it's like you're not gonna shoot anyone. You're just gonna shoot in the air. Cat
Sure.
pops and Mufasa.
So you sort of fell in love with the
And I was like,
wordplay.
ooh,
Yeah.
that's
Pretty
a little
hot.
bit tricky.
Pretty hot.
Yeah.
I mean, and so, but the thing is, it evolves so much, and you get the level of complexity and stuff nowadays is just wild. Like that's kind of a corny line nowadays.
Right.
But it just evolves so much, and the layers and levels and intricacy of it now is wild. It's the most like lyrical.
Who's your favorite rapper?
Battle rapper or rapper?
Rapper.
Probably Royce da 5'9".
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Do you listen to much hip hop in general, or?
Mhm. Yeah.
What about MF Doom?
Very dope. Very
Yeah,
dope.
dude, he
Yeah.
crams just fucking so many rhymes. into
Yeah,
a
yeah.
line.
Mm. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Big Doom fan.
So
too.
do you still do it at all today, like the battle rap stuff, or?
Not really. I haven't done it in a hot minute.
Do you-
I still attend events sometimes.
Right.
And I watch it all the time on YouTube.
Mm.
It's great because it's like watching a UFC fight. People train
Yeah.
and you want to see the stars face each other.
Mm.
The people who are the best in the game
Bets.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Put some
yeah.
bets down.
Oh yeah, they're
Were you fairly well known in the scene, or?
decently. I mean, I wasn't one of like the biggest names or anything, but I was on Don't Flop, which at the time was like a big battle rap.
I think I've heard of that, right?
Yeah, it was a big battle rap league. There's different leagues. There's Ultimate Rap League kind of out of New York.
Have you
and,
seen any
King of the Dot.
fights from these battles? Does he ever get that heated where it goes physical?
Yeah.
It's rare, but it happens. Just because I mean, at the end of the day, you are insulting each other.
Mm.
But the thing is, it's like if you're gonna be doing a rap battle,
And you're that.
why do you want to
yeah.
fight?
Yeah.
You know,
That
it's
much of a
like
pussy?
if you're gonna fight, go outside and fight. But it's very uncommon, and it's always a bad look on the culture because mainstream media loves to be like, look at this rap battle turn fight. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it always pulls eyes though, and battles with fights always do big numbers, just because everyone loves the drama, the gossip.
Right.
And it's like, oh, they were ducking out. It's like, and they're saying, and it's funny because all these people are saying like, I will beat you up, and then it's like dipping out at the fight.
Yeah.
So,
Is there any like artificially generated drama? Do you think to boost the
oh
views, or?
yeah, they love doing that.
Oh,
but
like just humming up the beef.
oh yeah. They gotta sell the fight. I
Say
mean,
they hate each other on social media. Go out for a beer.
yeah.
Laugh.
oh yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like after all the battles I've had, there's only a couple times that I've been like, actually, no, fuck this guy.
Right,
It's like
right.
usually,
Usually it's all in good
there's
fun.
a mutual respect.
Yeah.
And you're like, hell yeah, like I'm here to beat you up, and you're lyrically, you
Right.
know.
So
And
like most of the time after a battle with someone, you would go backstage and be like, "Wow, that was a really great line." Like, nice one on that one.
yeah,
and
yeah,
then they would be
drinking and
like,
smoking, and you're having a good
Oh, yeah,
That's
time.
so
man.
sick. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Wow, that's crazy. I was so sure that was a bit when
Yeah,
it was
but
brought up.
he released a track called "The Pied Piper" like
Oh,
not too
yeah.
long ago.
Really?
Dude, it was fucking
How
amazing.
did I not hear about that?
Yeah, man, it's on his Insta bio.
Is that about Rust, or is that just about just the track
Yeah,
in
it's
general?
It's
just
just
a
a
track.
track.
Ah,
dude.
I
see.
Fuck
Yeah,
it, it's pretty
with my
high.
buddy.
Damn.
Yeah.
So, are you interested in pursuing music career-wise at all, or just experimenting with it a
You
bit?
got a
fun.
future in it, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's fun, and I definitely enjoy releasing songs, making songs.
Yep.
And it's a fun outlet, you know. It's kind of a different type of creativity.
Definitely.
So
You used to do it as your outros. You would do a rap.
I still do that. Yeah.
Hmm.
On a lot of my video, I think my latest one was the Tarkov one where I did that.
Yeah.
And so I kind of do a little rap and have some gameplay behind it right at the end as an outro and stuff. And
it slaps.
yeah,
It
some
slaps.
people, some people absolutely love them. They're like, why nobody talking about the fire rap at the end in the
Yeah.
comments?
I can actually relate to that a lot because how I kind of got started initially was by freestyle rapping in DayZ, which is something that I sort of look back on and,
I
and
got
cringe
sta-
about.
I got started by freestyle rapping in CS:GO.
Yeah, well, that's kind of how we met.
Yeah.
Actually, was we would regularly join these CS:GO surf servers, and I think we both just had a mutual hobby with kind of fucking with people in online games and
Well,
just
that's
going on
exactly what it
servers
was,
and
just going on and fucking with people and getting a reaction. I
Yeah.
didn't even record it for like the first year I did it.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
just
because
good
CS:GO
fun.
Surf, like any night you go on there, it used to be, at least in Australia, it was just rapping.
It's
People just
still
rapping
that,
at
dude.
each
There's
other.
still dedicated freestyle rap servers. Like,
Do you
where
think you
people
guys started
cipher.
that?
I think we helped start
We
it.
popularized it for
We
sure.
definitely
Yeah.
popularized it, but
Yeah.
but those people have been keeping themselves alive for like
Yep.
years. Yeah,
No.
that shit's still a thing. You go on there, there's dedicated rap battle servers.
Mm.
People just hop in and cipher.
Yeah, the kids love it. I mean, like, it's such a safe and fun way to just go and, I don't know, just have fun and entertain a bunch of strangers, or maybe you fuck up and they all go, boo,
Yeah,
you
it's
suck.
a lot of pressure after a while.
Cut that,
'cause-
cut that. Yeah.
Because starting out, I had like 30, 40K subs, and most of my channel was like keeping around the people that stayed for the rap video that I Notorious released. So I'd be putting out rap videos from Counter-Strike servers, and I'd be chilling on servers, and people would be like, "Oh, dude, I have a beat rap," and I'd be like, "I really don't want to,"
Yeah.
but it's just like everyone would want to hear you rap, and just the pressure of each time, it's like you kill it, and you're like, "Thank God," and then the next day, you're like, do it again, it's like, okay. And then you do it again, and it wasn't good at all. And then people are like, "Whoa, dude, you suck. Do you write?" And then it's just like,
You just got your
hate
head
it.
in your hands,
I
slamming your head on the
fucking hate
keyboard.
it, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure after a while. That's why I just stopped doing that.
Do you guys ever think about before you started doing YouTube, like the opportunities that you had during gameplay and stuff, and the things that happened that you're like, that would have been the most incredible video.
Yeah.
I deleted footage by accident from a Gary's Mod trolling video,
F.
and I'll never forgive myself for it. There was this one bit, dude, where I was walking around and some guy was bothering me. I was gonna RDM. I was gonna random deathmatch, which is killing him for no reason. It's against the rules. But I wanted to be like, Siri, flip a coin. If it's heads, you die. If it's tails, you live. And I flip the coin, and it goes, oops, it landed on its side, and I just shot him in the face. I fucking deleted it, dude.
Aw, man.
Well, you
fucking
just
deleted it.
deleted by accident, or yeah, I've done that before.
I wanted to cry so bad.
I had
'cause
a
it was
couple.
so funny.
I had a couple clips in Rust where like I'd fucking spray down clans and shit. There was
Yeah.
this one where like I jumped off a 15-story building with an MP5 and sprayed down like 7 guys while an admin was watching.
Was that before you were a YouTuber or after?
That was before YouTube. That was back in
Yeah.
Rust Legacy. But that's when I just got my recording program set up and
Right.
stuff. And
There must
Did
be so
you-
many gems from the past before
Did
we
you
were
find
YouTubers.
that when you were smaller on YouTube, getting content that was funny and quality was easier?
Well, I think there's a little bit of a dynamic shift when it's not just a hobby anymore. You're like, okay, well now this is my primary source of income. I'm doing this
Definitely.
full time, and so it's like at that point it's totally a hobby. You're just like, let's see what happens today.
Yeah,
just
there's
gonna hop
no
in here.
expectation
There's
or-
a change in mindset.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
comes with being reliant on it. But I mean more so, has your popularity stifled your ability to create content?
In a way, because I mean, like you mentioned, having people recognize you can really ruin things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had to adjust how we made content in the past because, like, there was a period of time when most of our content was going into Counter-Strike games and just chatting to the random people that were in our teams. But can't really do that too much anymore.
I think also just the expectation that comes along with popularity, and you have an audience that expects things, and you run into people in game and they expect you to be how you are in the videos, which is
Yeah.
obviously like a hypercut version of yourself. Like,
Yeah.
it's not really. Like, I feel like a lot of fans when they meet us in game, they're like, "Oh, you guys are really chill and
Yeah.
like not funny at all. Like, because it just takes so long to get the gems. Yeah, it's very
well,
interesting.
streaming is more of a accurate, description of how you are,
Yeah,
how you play.
it's real. Yeah.
You can have 6 hours stream, but maybe an hour, 2 hours was really gold.
Yeah.
But that's how it goes. It's live content versus, like getting 18 hours of footage and cutting it down into 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You're only going to get the best out of those 18 hours.
I really want to go back to this rap battle stuff because I was just
Do
so
it,
fascinated.
Go back to it.
So were you competing for like prize money, or were you making a living off of this? Like what?
No. So I was doing it for fun.
Okay.
I loved it. I mean, I still I'm constantly thinking of dumb little like flips of words and language and stuff because it's really fun. Like,
Yeah.
it just
Keeping yourself sharp.
I
Yeah.
still to this day love to freestyle rap. I just try to avoid doing it publicly because I'm aware that I'm just so corny that I just can't pull it off.
you gotta embrace it.
I think I'm good at it, but I'm just like, I'm always like, I'm corny. Like, what?
Yeah.
Who would want to listen?
There were a couple times where I'd have Fitz and Mason over mine, and we'd smoke and hang out, have a couple of bevs, and then they'd put on some freestyle rap beats. And
We're
we'd
so
just go-
white.
just go right
No,
there.
that's really fun. I would do that all the time with my friends.
No,
like
dude,
back
it's good to
porch,
keep your-
just
it's good to-
chilling.
It's good to keep your skills sharp. And
Oh,
it's fun
and-
as well. If
yeah.
like someone comes out with a Busta Rhyme, you're just like, yeah.
Yeah.
You smoke, and then you go, yeah, my turn, and then you completely fuck it up,
Yeah.
and then you're
It's
like, I'm not
cool
doing this anymore.
Jumping back and forth too. Like if
Yes.
you've got 3-4 people and you're all vibing,
Yes.
the thing is you might go 4-6 bars. Then the moment you start messing up, someone's like, "I got
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it
yeah,
just
yeah, I get
and
it.
it goes
And then they
because it's
pop
like
in.
if you're just kind of the only one doing, it's like you'll just run, you'll hit a wall.
Yeah,
eventually.
yeah, dude.
And you're like, okay, that,
You can't freestyle rap
and
forever.
I keep going and keep flowing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
do you prefer like the spontaneousness of freestyling, or do you prefer like being more methodical and writing down like really witty, clever bars and performing them? Like, what?
I'd say it's when you're freestyling, it's like sharpening your sword.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely freestyled things where I'm like, ooh, that was slick.
Yep.
It's just like you couldn't have come up with that if you were trying to write something down.
Yeah.
It's just like a multisyllabic rhyme that you're just like, that was great.
Well, surely when you're writing, you're almost just freestyling and then writing down what sounds good, right?
And
Yeah.
then
Just put it-
deleting what your mind fucked up.
Yeah. And I mean, you're definitely more discerning though in what you write, or when you're thinking, it's like those multis are much cleaner. But like when you're freestyling, they might be a little more slant rhyme, something a little sketchier.
Right.
Some Emily Dickinson half rhymes. up in that shit.
Exactly. But I'd say writing down something intricate and then watching it actually like hit people, I'd say that's the payoff of that is much greater.
Right.
A lot of people write writtens by freestyling and recording themselves, and then listening to it back and then editing it. I like the way of doing that.
That's how Lil Wayne does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of mumble rappers I think just get fucked up and then hop in the booth and just bounce around and just like say shit,
Yeah.
Which is obviously a very different kind of genre from perhaps the more lyrical stuff that I imagine you're into. But
What do you think of mumble rap?
It's not really my cup of tea, just because I value what people say so much, and I mean I love battle rap, and it's like it's battles are a cappella now. I mean,
damn.
some people are all performance. They got simple bars, but they sell it.
yeah,
And some people have believability. They might also be simpler. I think there's different attributes that can make you a stronger battler. Like it's not. I was kind of always just like a little more cerebral, just coming up with like better stuff. My performance was one of my areas that I was always working on.
right.
But some people, it's just like that comes naturally, and then
How-
they need to get that pen a little bit stronger. But
How were they judged, the competitions?
so they're not judged anymore.
Really?
Due to a history of terrible judging decisions,
Wow.
because it's very subjective.
Yeah.
Some people really value that authenticity. Like if you're like, they say they're gonna shoot you, and you're like, I believe that.
He has a gun in his pocket right now.
Yeah, it's like some people really value that. Some people just want to hear awesome wordplay.
Yep.
Some people want to see great performances and exciting, someone being really animated in how they say things. And so you get 10 different people, they're all going to call a battle differently.
Of course.
So
and-
How is it decided? Through like audience?
So it's usually 3 rounds. And so if someone wins 3 rounds, it's 3-0 or 2-1, and they're usually debatable at that point. But the fans decide.
Good.
Sometimes in the room, people win in the room and then lose on camera. Because like if you're a very intricate person, with really complex, all these different metaphors and similes that are flying over people's heads in the room, because like energy is gonna hit in the room.
Yeah.
But then you watch it back on camera, and you're like, wow, this person was on another level lyrically, or it just comes out better on camera, and you're like, this person won on camera but lost in the building.
Right, because I guess like the room might connect more with someone who's like, cause
Depends
maybe
who
not
they
as
relate to.
maybe
Or
not as
if they're a
technical.
hometown hero,
Yeah,
their
yeah.
favorite
Could be
crowds.
a number of things.
Crowds are often biased. That's why it's tricky too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you're in New York, someone from New York is battling someone from LA.
Oh yeah, dude. You're
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any embarrassing stories where you've just completely fucked up and shattered on stage, or
shattered on stage.
or like giving the money style?
There is a battle rapper who tried to poop on stage.
So he tried to.
Yes, tried to. He like spread cheeks, but nothing came out.
That's disappointing.
He was trying
It's
to
like
commit.
opening the cargo bay door, not
Yeah.
dropping the nude.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He
That is the
spread
most American thing you've said.
Assumed the stance.
Wait, explain that. So what? Did he pull down his pants, spread his cheeks?
Yeah.
Was it like related to a bar about?
No.
No, you just.
But he's known for his antics. He's a guy from LA actually, called Daylo.
Interesting.
He's known for antics and doing stuff like that.
Spreading his asshole on stage.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I got a couple questions for you.
Go for it.
Oh, he's pulling out.
he's
the
whipping out the
phone.
phone.
No, I didn't write many because I didn't want to like take up much of the time.
Oh my
Bro,
god.
That's
all
the
people want to hear of is more Mason, all right? So you go for it.
What's your process on making a Rust video? Do you play through the whole wipe cycle first few days or last?
So, in terms of when I usually play, it's going to be very different types of content. Because usually if I'm right at the wipe in Rust is the most bloodthirsty part. People don't really get that all the time.
That's what's so fun.
Yeah,
I love the wipe.
And it's an arms race. And
Yeah,
like,
that's what's so beautiful.
Yeah. And so every single mistake costs you it's all opportunity cost. So it's like, okay, I could be doing this, but that means I can't be doing this at the same time. That's why usually if I'm playing right at the wipe, I'll play in a bigger group.
Yeah.
Playing solo right when it wipes is just absolutely brutal. Probably the most brutal gaming experience you could find anywhere.
Right. I mean, you kind of.
Especially if you're not very good at Rust.
Exactly.
Like I've tried doing Rust vibes on stream by myself, and it's always torture.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been my experience. Like, I've played Rust in groups before, but I've never been able to get into it solo, so I've just never stuck with it.
It's because you're just shit, mate.
I am shit, bro. You
Yeah.
That is
train me up,
genuinely
mate.
why.
Get
Yeah.
fucking good and fucking make
Yeah.
some plays. You
Get
shit,
me
cunt.
good, bro. Train me up.
Yeah, I would train you up. but you
Surely
just-
this is the squad right here.
maybe this may
The
just be
Chad
the
squad.
squad.
Chad
Really
squad.
Easy squad.
Yeah.
Toby can be farm bot.
That's gonna be farm bot number 2.
Farm bot number 2.
I don't trust this guy, man. He accidentally killed his fucking dinosaur. Like, what's he gonna do?
Swags
Burn
can
the
roof
base down.
camp.
I don't like roof camping. Too easy.
Too bad
Yeah.
you're gonna practice, mate.
Practice. Is that how I get my aim up? I shoot naked.
Yeah, there you go. Target practice.
Dude, easy dub.
Moving targets, they'll even try to avoid it.
Dubski.
I want to do a video with you, Mason, where you just are a drill sergeant with us and boss us around and command us and tell us what to do.
I get so frustrated because you cunts would be so slow.
Yeah,
man.
but that'd be so hilarious.
That'd be funny, though. That'd be funny.
Nah, yeah, but here's my other question.
Go for it.
How often do you stream for your content rather than just play the game?
So when I'm streaming, it's just the most stream snipable game in the world.
Yeah.
It's
So-
cancer.
Yeah, and of course, everyone thinks they're always so clever when they're stream sniping you, and some people just really want to help, and they don't quite get that it's not about here's the AK, here.
Yeah, it's about finding it, obviously.
Yeah.
It's,
So
It's about earning it.
yeah, and because no one wants to see you get the AK from streamer loot.
It's like cheating.
Yeah, exactly. It's no fun. It's you might if you take it, you'll just be like, well, I didn't earn this. This wasn't organic.
yeah,
this was-
it'd be special for the fan that gave it to you, but not to
Yeah,
anyone
and it's
else,
some
yeah.
weird meta game at that point.
That's why you just take the AK, you spray him down, and then you drop the AK on his body, and then you go, okay, everybody, the coordinates to this are, and then you say it in the chat, and then you leave.
Yeah,
Swagger is a sadist, by the way.
yeah.
Because then people aren't going to do it.
Scav in, boys.
Yeah.
no.
Then they're going to shoot at you with the AK, and then you can kill the stream sniper. And then
Yeah.
that's deserved loot.
Streaming Rust is stressful as fuck.
I only did it once.
Yeah.
Ever again.
Well, the thing is, even if nobody's actually stream sniping you at that exact moment,
All you need is some guy to start mic spamming the N-word. and you're
yes,
fucked.
that's also a common occurrence. But it's like the knowledge that people always know your moves, and it's knowledge is so crucial in that situation.
Pretty sure how they do it at the moment is there's a delay from when you, because if you stream with OBS, you can set a hotkey where you press it and it will change to an image instead of the map to show.
I do that, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a little delay, like a fade before the map comes up, that you can like see the map.
Just a smidge.
Yeah, like
You can do a cut, but like, cause
well, if it cuts, it like cuts. There's a split-second frame to where you can see the map, and I think what people do is they record it on your stream and then watch it back to see where your
Pause the
location.
frame.
Dedicated.
Yeah.
Dedicated.
So
dedication.
Anyone with
Imagine having that much time.
I'm gonna get him, boys. This is my chance.
Having that much time.
It's so fucked.
Do you have a favorite moment in Rust or a favorite, either in one of your videos or maybe something you didn't capture that was just really special or something you remember? Favorite
So
story?
this is one of my probably lower performing videos.
Yeah.
But there was this little kid, must have been 8 years old, and so he literally let me into his base. Like the sweetest kid. I was like, "Hello, I'm outside. I'm about to die. Can you just let me in?" He's just like, "Okay."
I think I've seen that.
Yeah. And so then we're all running around. There's eventually this like whole hodgepodge group of people. There was some guy who picked us up in a helicopter. There was some guy who had a guitar macro, so he's playing all these different songs on guitar, Harry Potter
that
and
shit's
stuff.
sick when people do that.
And
Now it's like legit. Now you can actually like.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have a MIDI keyboard. I can hook up to the
Yep.
instruments.
And so then we take him on this raid. This is all happening organically, and we manage. I get trapped inside this bit in like an enemy base,
Right.
and so then I'm breaking out slowly. I have to kind of break out the back of the wall. He's like, "Guys, I have to go. I'll be back tomorrow." And so at this point there's like 6 or 7 of us, and this is like the cutest, most wholesome kid. So we're like, okay. So I'd managed to get a bunch of loot when I was inside this base, and after he's left, we break out, and I'm like, "Can we give all this loot to the kid?" And we're like, "Yeah." So when we get back to the base, his base has been raided, so he's got nothing left. In the meantime, and so we get inside this base, put all this loot. So now his base is loaded with all this stuff, and we give him the bag and stuff, and we're like, "Spawn here. This is the code. Close the door." And then that's that.
Oh my god.
And then, later on, this never made it into the video. I send him a message. I'm like, because I got his Discord. I'm like, "Hey, your base is full of stuff." And he's like, "It's okay. You can keep it."
What?
And because he found out it was me at the end. And he's like, "I'm just happy I got to play with my favorite YouTuber." And it was like, "Oh, no."
So wholesome.
That game is gonna ruin that kid. He's gonna come out jaded.
Yeah.
That's what I love about your content. It's kind of like the anti-Rust player, because like there's so many of your videos. There's so many of your videos where you'll come across someone that's new to the game or something like that. You'll play with them for a bit. You'll act like you're new to the game, and then just like give them a whole bunch of shit. And it's just like there's no other Rust content like that. You know, the like wholesome stuff.
Do you ever play the bad guy? Do you ever?
I have,
Yeah. What do you prefer?
Well, I think it's fun to do like a bit of cheeky trolling.
Yeah.
Like, this wasn't at Rust, but I remember this was, I don't know why. This was my first Theathers video. I made this guy so mad. I made him so mad. Like, he was like cursing me out and yelling at me, and he was like, "Some people just really love to get on video games and be a jackass."
Was that
He said jackass?
Was that because you like went on his boat and you were fucking with him?
No, he was on my crew, so he couldn't really do anything about it. But he was kind of chippy in all his responses, and I was new, so I didn't really know what I was doing. So eventually I just started doing the opposite of everything he asked me to do.
Oh, okay, as you do. Respect.
And so he's just like, he's getting so angry at me. And then, yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I think it's not fun to be like toxic and bully someone when it's like, you know, they're down or something.
Yeah,
but someone who's just like a bit angry for no reason. Maybe they're having a bad day, so maybe it is kind of a douche move. But But you know, if you can be that angry,
I think some people like
Well,
getting.
you know, you do it in subtlety.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
doing
You're like,
it-
oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, dude, there's nothing better than trolling and then just pretending like you're not trolling. Like,
yeah.
just like throwing a grenade and be like, "Oh fuck, guys, I goofed up. I
Misclick,
really goofed it up," and just fucking killing your teammates, or
Yeah.
you know, you're all in a car and you fucking drive off a cliff. Be like, "Oh fuck, I goofed that up so bad, guys. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry." And then you just get them to play another game with you, and you keep
Yeah.
fucking with them.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that cheeky trolling. I love
Oh,
that,
dude.
because it's fun and it's like a little bit mischievous. You know?
Dude.
Yeah.
Nothing is better than trolling with plausible deniability.
Mhm.
Nothing is fucking better than that.
Oh yeah, well,
shit.
one of Swagger's favorite things is going on Gmod servers and like actively fucking with people really badly, and
I
then
can't
like,
do it anymore.
and then trying to convince the admins that like it's not his
dude,
fault.
Dude, admin sits in Gary's mod. It's literally like, for anyone that doesn't know, Gary's mod has a game mode called Dark RP. And basically the aim is that you're role-playing and that you have to play by these rules. Like, you can't kill on sight. You can't kill people for no reason. You have to have a role-play reason. They have like a whole rule book that they have to look through. Back in high school, I would I would read and memorize rule books to certain servers and find all the loopholes.
There's a team of lawyers looking into
Yeah.
it.
There's this one loophole where it's like, if you put a macro, I had it bound to a key because I did it that much. It was /advert, so you'd advertise to the entire server in the text chat, "Warning, stop following me, you have 10 seconds." And so I would just spawn in, get a gun, hit that bind, wait 10 seconds, run around the map, find a random person and shoot them in the head, and then they'd call an admin. The admin would take us both out of the playable area and talk to us, be like, "Okay, there's a rule dispute. Who do I have to kick or jail?" Which is like 5 minutes of just being in a cage, that kind of shit, like a timeout. And I would always convince the admins. They'd be like, "No, this asshole was following me, and I waited 10 seconds, like it said in the rules, and then I killed him." And then they'd look through the logs, and that's all they would see, and then I'd get away with it. And if I wanted to take it a step further, I'd do it again, and then I'd be like, "Look, this is the second time that the guy's lying. Can you jail him?" And the admin would be like, "Yeah." And the guy would get jailed.
You
Oh, we
can't
got to
keep
get you on
getting away with it.
GTRP.
Oh, dude.
GTRP, you would love it.
would be fun.
I want to
Yeah.
do it.
Have you ever?
I've heard of it. I played a lot of GTA, just like vanilla GTA. But that's something that I've been interested in.
You would
And
crush it. You would crush it.
Yeah, dude.
It's
The only thing about GTRP is that there is a lot of like downtime, I guess, or like a lot of moments that just aren't content at all. Like if you need to grind for money or something like that, or like there's something that you really want to do but you can't do it until you've done a big grind.
Yeah.
Those
Plus
are a bit shit. But
Especially on stream as well. Like it must be really hard to maintain a character for like
Yeah.
a long period of time, especially through those grindy.
it's a lot easier with friends. If you have other people that are also RPing,
Yeah.
and you're in a Discord call with them, then it's a lot easier. But yeah,
I would be very keen to jump into that this year.
yeah. I'll
I've
hook
always
it
been
up.
eyeing that.
We'll get you in, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. You good, Mace? Any more questions or just burps from you today, man?
No, just burps.
Just burps.
Let's have another.
Swagger Souls,
Cameron,
how you going?
I'm going good.
I'm going
Is
pretty
there
well
anything you
myself,
want to
man.
talk about?
Any questions for us, Wellen?
I just want to talk about battle rapping, honestly. It's constantly on my mind.
Yeah, surely you got a question for Big Zark.
Yeah, did you know about Zuckel's content at all? Like back in the Rust days, did you watch him?
I still remember the Dropkick Murphys intro.
Yeah.
Right. So you actually like actively watched him like a while ago.
Oh yeah, well
Okay,
this
like-
is before. See, because I never really thought I would do YouTube or anything. I was gonna be an accountant.
Really?
So, yeah.
From battle rap to accountant to battle
Oh.
rap to Rust guy.
The people that I worked with got such a kick out of the fact I like hid it from them for a while because I was like, I don't want this prestigious auditing firm to know that I'm what I'm engaging in my downtime.
That is so funny. You should have like added it to your battle rap character and should have like a suit and like spectacles.
People do stuff like that.
Like
Yeah, dude, people make it a whole character.
Yeah.
start just like doing their taxes for him and shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there that that they're in job positions where they feel that they can't go and do something that they love because they're worried that the people that they work for would find out.
Mhm.
Such a shitty situation.
It was fine, but like in battle rap, it's kind of funny because with YouTube now I don't curse in videos really, and
Faggot.
Well, looks like this podcast isn't getting monetized either. Well,
and so like, but what's funny is in battle rap, I was like delightfully vulgar. Like I loved it.
Really?
I loved it. Yeah. But it's fun. But I think it's also a challenge to kind of moderate your speech.
Yeah.
And like it's
Cursing is the crutch to a crippled vocabulary, and my vocab is fucking crippled.
Swagger used to say fuck like legit every other word.
I like that alliteration though.
Yeah.
Cursing is the crutch
to
of a crippled vocabulary.
There's a Twitter account called Misfit Swear Jar.
Shout out.
And Swagger is always.
I owe so much money.
Always.
I owe so much. Stop it. Stop it.
Stop fucking counting,
I don't
please.
owe you any money.
It is so
cunt.
funny.
Yeah, cunt. cunt.
The count is.
Hey, let's just all curse really.
Oh,
quick,
that'd be
quick,
so dog,
All right,
man.
favorite curse word. 3, 2, 1.
Motherfucker.
Wait, so did anyone from your accounting firm ever find out?
Yeah.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because I told them I think I was going to a festival in London.
Oh.
And they were like, "Oh, that's pretty cool." And I had a rap battle there.
Right.
And so
Did they ever watch any of your stuff and comment on it?
yeah,
or-
they like towards the end of when I worked there, everyone knew, and they were all like, "Yo, that's sick."
That's
Yo,
awesome.
Luminous.
Hey, they got such a kick out of it. Yeah,
That's
it
great.
was a lot of fun.
Was anyone like weird about it or?
No.
No
Cool.
squares in your accounting firm.
Mm-mm,
Huh?
all cool kids, you know.
Good
What,
shit.
what was
Yeah,
it
yeah,
like? What was it like quitting the job? Like walking away from it to pursue?
Yeah, what
YouTube?
point in YouTube did you do that?
So I was, this was end of the summer, July or August 2018, and so I was working all the time and stuff, and I was like, I really want to. I can't remember. I think I had maybe like 50K, 60K subs or something then. So I was kind of seeing that this was, a bit of an audience and stuff. I was like, okay, this could go somewhere.
It's a very exciting time for
Yes,
YouTuber, right? When
yeah.
you just start hitting like the tens of
Yeah.
thousands.
Yeah.
And if you can get like 50,000 subs, you know that there's way more people
There's
out
a
there that would
ceiling.
be
Yeah.
interested.
It means
know
you're doing
that you
something
have-
right, yeah.
50K subs, I think you have your hand securely on the rung of the ladder.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then it's way easier to climb from there.
Yeah.
You have the momentum.
Yeah. And so I was like, I'm going to get a new job in about 3 months, but I'm going to take the time off, look at YouTube. But of course, I'm going to get a new job,
Sure.
I'm not going to do YouTube full
Let's just see
time.
what happens here. Like,
Yeah.
Of course.
And so at the end of the 3 months, I was like, I'm not getting a new job.
How much did you grow in
Job.
those 3 months? Like,
I think I probably hit like 100, 150K or something then.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I was like, okay,
Just kept going up. And
I
down.
can really. I
What are
can
you
run
at
with this.
now?
Well, I think 1.72 or something.
Congrats.
Really?
Nice.
Thank you.
insane.
Hard to clap with the mics, but congratulations.
Just like smack the
Yep.
mic. Dum, 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 peek.
Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can still remember when my very first video blew up. It kind of got me to like 20K subs, which is massive because I think I started at below 10. Like this
What was
video.
it? The video?
You had about 10K subs when I met you.
Yeah, the video was me shoutcasting, like esports shoutcasting, this kid on a surf server just failing miserably at the mini game, and he was getting really, really angry.
Getting very angry.
And I was just, he was failing again, doing that esports thing the entire time. And for some reason, Reddit loved it, and then YouTube blew up.
Yeah, that guy's the whole reason you have a career.
Funny story about that. He likes to think so. He contacted me about a year later, just being like, "Hey man, like you never thanked me for blowing you up, bro. Like you never thanked me for like you owe me, man. Like your entire channel is because of me." I'm like, dude, I was the one being funny. You were just mad. Like you were just mad on a surf server. I was shoutcasting you. Like that was the anyway. I do have love for that kid, obviously.
Do you use Reddit much with your videos, or have you ever?
Right when I started, I posted my videos.
Yeah, how good's Reddit?
Yeah.
Reddit's good to
Yeah.
start
Oh,
off.
yeah.
I never used Reddit to actually promo my own stuff.
Oh.
I was in the mindset really early on. I was like, if my content is good, people will share it themselves. And then people will just naturally share it, and then I'll get the views naturally from it. I never wanted to push like a whole here, new upload, and just plaster it on Reddit. I never wanted to do like a, hey guys, like and comment or anything like that. I figured like if the content was good, then it would do well on its own.
I always saw Fitz's stuff doing really well on Reddit, and I was like, oh, I should post my stuff on Reddit, but I didn't use Reddit. So I never had enough Reddit
Right.
karma to do anything.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't want to be that guy that only uses Reddit to promo his
Promo?
shit.
Yeah.
And Reddit's brutal as well. Like,
Yeah,
Reddit can
fuck
crush your
Reddit.
stuff.
I,
and
hate,
save.
I dislike Reddit. I don't like to use it. I hate
It's a toxic site.
I hate the upvote system. I like 4chan because you literally just fucking. Well, I don't like 4chan.
He likes 4chan because he's racist. Okay,
Edgy boy.
that's the truth.
That and I also like it because it's just anybody posts. It's anonymous. No one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
And then it's post per like chronology. So whoever posts, that's the sequence.
It's 4chan's great because it's still in the Wild West.
Well, that's
you
what I
know,
like
which is
about
what the
it.
internet
It's
kind of
just-
used to be.
It's just real, like, just people without a fucking username or an identity
Or a
saying what
job.
they actually mean. Or saying what they don't actually mean because they're participating in the irony, you know, which is equally as dangerous some of the time.
Yeah, what I mean,
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. No matter off your first
Had this.
.com.
Look, I'd have to watch a guide.
You have to look up how to make a door in
Yeah,
Minecraft.
Imagine.
The silly
Yeah,
cunt.
yeah.
Fucking noob.
What about pickaxe? You can make a pickaxe.
I know how to do that.
Okay.
I could place that in manually. I don't even need to look it up in the
Good,
crafting
good, dude.
table.
Cooper, aka C Scoop, is off screen shaking his head at you right now in shame. He's disappointed. He goes, a door really well. A door?
Disgusting.
Dude, Minecraft's great. I know all those fucking crafting recipes by heart.
Was Rust the first game that you sort of fell in love with, or was there a game that was really big for you back in the
I
day?
played a lot of Lord of the Rings Online.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
That's an
People
MMO?
played WoW. Yeah, it's an MMO, kind of classic MMO, you know, with skills and traits and everything. And they had this open world PvP area, PvMP, because you weren't playing against other players. You were playing against monster players that were specifically in that region.
Right.
So it was like a map, but it was all asymmetric, which I loved. So you'd have, you know, like a group of 6 people that you're all running with out in this world, and then there's PvE mobs as well. And so then you might run into a different makeup enemy group of 8. And so suddenly you just have this impromptu fight of 6 versus 8.
Right.
Or it might be like 2 to 3 of you, and you get zerged by 30 guys.
Mm.
So I always loved the elements of like integrated PvE and PvP elements because it just creates these interesting dynamics.
Tarkov.
Yeah, exactly.
The
And
scabs
so
and PMCs.
that's why once I came, it was like Rust was the game I wanted to be playing, you know, when I was playing that, because, you know, it was awkward. You were this little third-person character, and you'd be clicking on skills. There wouldn't be first-person shooter elements to it, which obviously make it much more enthralling and stuff.
Do you remember when Rust was third person?
No.
Rust was third person?
Yeah, it
that
was
was a
third person.
When it was in the
While ago.
browser?
No. When New Rust came out,
Uh-huh.
like after Legacy, it was third person for a bit.
Really?
Yeah,
was
it
it
was-
toggleable, or was it just
Toggleable.
Yeah,
Like
but
toggle
it was for
blue.
like what, 2 months?
Yeah.
That was when like there was no element to Rust as it stood. When it was just ported to Unity.
There's no content, really, right?
Like nothing. Like they had the metal chest plate, and if you shot the metal chest plate, it would literally it would not do any damage. It would stop it.
Oh,
It would
Yeah.
literally just stop the bullet.
wow.
We have all kind of been complaining recently about like the gaming industry in general and how things feel kind of dead and uninteresting. Like there's not many games that we are really super into playing right now. Have you experienced that recently, or is Rust just like still?
He found Tarkov.
I found
You found
Tarkov. I've been playing a lot of Tarkov.
I have too.
Yeah,
I've also found it.
I've done a couple videos of Tarkov. I'm working on a new one as well.
How do they perform compared to Rust?
Probably about 80-85%.
That's good.
So
That's
yeah,
really
yeah.
good. Yeah.
It's
And
really
the good thing about Tarkov is that it's your Rust videos are, you know, start to finish a story.
Mhm.
And Tarkov, you can just take a raid and it
Mhm.
can be start to finish a story.
Yeah.
You know?
I was very pleasantly surprised about how well your style translated from Rust to Tarkov. Because I honestly, like, looking at Tarkov, I was like, how can he do, like, something like that? Because there's no VoIP, there's no fucking, you know, being able to talk to people
Mhm.
in Tarkov yet. So, like, I was like, that's gonna be weird. And I watched, thank God I watched your video, because you made it a very compelling story.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
you keep doing it. Like you, Aqua FPS, General Sam, like that whole Tarkov like scene that's blowing up, that's really carrying it. I watch every video like religiously now.
Yeah,
Have you
that's
played
great.
with Anton?
No, no.
Love Anton. He's one of my favorite Twitch streamers actually.
Mhm.
Big Tarkov guy.
You'll have to forgive me because I haven't seen your Tarkov videos, but like, how do you do them? Do you kind of role play a bit and like get into the intensity of the game? or-
Rashala.
Reshala. So at least my first one, each map is a boss.
Yep.
So basically, I'd heard and seen about this NPC boss, and these things are scary. Like they will
Fuck,
one
Barry,
shot
they
you.
just go.
They're very scary in
Right.
terms of like it's scarier than players a lot of the time because
Yeah,
they're
dude.
not scared of you.
Are they basically like just hack flankers.
The
they
AI,
go
Yeah.
hard,
the AI is great, dude. They'll run
Yeah.
around and just fucking pop.
They'll flank you too. Like
they'll-
they're tricky.
They'll headshot you and shit.
Mhm.
I think voice in that game would be cool. Just screaming at cunts
Oh,
down
it'll be
hallways.
Dude, it would
it's coming.
it would completely change like the meta, because
Yeah.
imagine like we're playing and like you like some guy is just fucking running around shooting at you. You just start screaming down a hallway, get his attention, and then
Yeah.
like
It'd be great if you could like
Good for
work, like
tactics.
make alliances with people in the game via voice. Like maybe you're in some kind of standoff where neither of you wants to peek, and then
Dude.
you talk it out and you go to the extraction zone together in the
there were
end.
so
or-
many points where I really wish that I had VoIP and it just be the ability to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Because-
I kind of fuck with. I mean, I know voice is going to be way better, but the game has a bunch of preset comms.
No, fuck that.
No, it's so
No.
it makes it so much more
Command just
satisfying
left
when it
us here.
works. Because if you go there and you're just like hold your fire, friendly, then someone actually is
Dude.
friendly with you for the whole raid, it's so satisfying.
I couldn't figure out how to work the wheel, so I would press F3, I think it is, to do the
F1,
random
yeah,
one.
yeah.
F1. I was trying to extract in factory, so like all the way at the end with the fucking gate and shit. You have to go through the 2 doors, and there was a guy chilling there. There was 3 minutes left on the extract. I killed 4 people, had a ton of loot. All I wanted to do was extract. He was in there, just all the way in the back, and he wasn't extracting. He was waiting for me. He thought I was going to open the door and kill him. And I was like, "Oh shit! How do I say like I'm friendly?" So I click F1, and my guy goes, "I'll fucking kill you!" And I'm like, "Oh shit! I'll do it again." He goes, "You motherfucker! I'll fucking kill you!" And I'm like, "God damn it! I'm doing it again and again." And all I'm saying are super aggressive lines.
Yeah.
And then the guy fucking killed me.
So those lines react based on what you've been doing. So if
Yeah,
you've been
well, to be-
shooting a lot, they'll always be angry.
That sucks because he opened the door and I thought he was going to shoot me, and he opened the door and I got frightened and I shot the wall, and I guess he took that as I was trying to kill him, which sucked because it was complete miscommunication. I had no way to say, please extract, and just let me get my loot.
After hearing the stories you've told on this podcast, Swagger, I wouldn't trust you at all, even if you were telling me you were friendly.
Dude, I
You
would
are a
have let
motherfucker.
him go.
I wouldn't trust
KOS.
a single
I
person in
I
Tarkov.
would have let him go.
Not a
I
one.
KOS you, mate. Sorry.
Instant kill on
My
sight.
stream hates it when I trust people. They're like, "You're such a fucking idiot. He's gonna kill you," and half the time they do.
But when
it's
they
still,
don't, it's
still
magical.
fun. It's fun for the story, and I'm like, I don't care if I lose this loot. If I'm gonna get a fun little, if I come across a hatchling
Yeah.
and I get to actually fully kit them out, it's so much fun.
Yeah, it's building your own character.
Yeah.
I'm like a little rat exterminator.
Little
I
rat
brutally
exterminator.
murder those hatchlings.
So where do you go from here, Ellen? What's the plan for you? Like, what are you thinking? What's next?
I don't know. I think it's exciting to be able to apply the kind of the style of video that I've had to, a lot of different games and stuff in the future. That's what I'm excited about doing. Tarkov's the one I'm really excited about right now. I've got a few more things planned for that. After that, I mean, I'd be excited to see a new survival game coming out.
Fuck yeah.
It's
to
bound
that.
to happen.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Because
It has to
it's,
be a
I
good
mean,
one.
if you look at it, we're playing the same games we were in 2018, 2017.
Mhm.
It'll be interesting to see what genre of survival it is.
I'm still chasing that Daisy
Like it
high.
could be underwater, it could be fucking who knows,
Yeah.
Space,
It's
fucking
it's just too good of a genre to ignore. It's just I think such a hard genre to execute properly.
Yeah.
I just hope that
Gotta
some
have the right
developer just does it
programs.
right.
What do you mean? Like Fallout 76, they nailed
That's
that
true.
one.
Oh,
Fallout
dude.
76
Nailed
was
that one.
perfect.
Beautiful
Yeah.
game. Beautiful game.
Oh man, I pre-ordered that, like the deluxe edition. I was
dude.
like, oh yeah, we gonna get some content, boys.
Yeah, dude. Let's have some dark rum. Nuka Cola dark rum.
I think I played like 8 hours in that
Put
game.
it in our canvas bag.
First day,
Or like, maybe
fucking
like just like
constant voice.
I was yeah. I
Yeah,
streamed it. I
Oh.
streamed like my first interactions in
So
it,
bad.
and
Thanks for
someone's
the
like,
Twitch Prime sub.
yeah.
Oh,
it's like,
streamer. Because in for people that don't know, when Fallout 76 came out, for like the first couple of weeks, voice chat was always activated, and
Yeah.
there
Turn
was
it
no
off.
way to turn it off besides disabling it altogether.
All you hear is just lip smacking and people eating Doritos.
Like bad microphones and like parents arguing in the other room.
Yeah, they for some reason thought push to talk was a bad idea. I think they wanted to make the game more immersive, and they wanted to make it that just like anything that was being said, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that'll be so cool.
Yeah.
But they didn't think about the fact that people have lives.
How could
And,
they
like,
not think about that?
privacy.
Ma, yeah.
Mom, where's my fucking hot pocket?
I mean, and on that note, we've reached an hour. We probably wrap up the show if you'd like. I mean, do you want to tell the people about your channels again and about, where they can find you and
Sure, yeah.
consume some great
Spell out your
wholesome
name, 'cause
content?
some people might
yeah.
forget the Y.
Yeah, WELYN. It's gonna autocorrect to Wellwin, but don't let
Fuck
it
Wellwin. We
autocorrect.
don't like Wellwin, guys.
Yes, Wellin, WELYN, and I'm currently at I'm Wellin on Twitter, and I am Wellin on Instagram. And yeah, I'm excited to share some stories with everyone.
Amazing, man.
I'm
Thank you
looking
for
at this camera. I should give that camera some
Look at
love
all
too.
of it.
Yeah, that look.
This was honestly I really enjoyed this episode. It was so interesting talking to you. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, good.
Thanks for having
And
me.
thank you guys for listening. We'll
Fuck
see
yeah.
you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
More podcasts.
Laters.
Bye.
Probably be sick.
Yeah. It's probably going to be sick. Griffin.
You want a Yahoo?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Let's see. Had a
But
lot of
thank
new.
you for still asking after all these years.
Had a-
Maybe-
had a lot
maybe
of
that made
new-
me feel like
had a lot of
natural
new
woman.
contributors this year.
I like that.
How about this? This one was sent in by Krista Whalen. Thank you, Krista. It's by Yahoo Answers user Raven Anna Lolita, who asked,
Okay.
"How can I lose weight off of my hands? I need
What?
I need to get to the peanut butter at the bottom of the jar that the knife won't get. But my hands are getting too big, so I need to make them small, and I can't cut my fingers off because I need them to scoop up the peanut butter."
Is this that question asked by a bear?
I just want to get one more smackerel of honey.
Listen, here's the thing.
Help. Head stuck in honey jar. Help.
Guys, I've got this.
Okay.
Just cut your fingers off.
No, wait.
No, wait. You specifically said in your question that you need those to scoop up the peanut butter. Fuck.
Cut your fingers off and replace it with spoons.
This is like a snake eating its own tail, because if you were to stop eating the peanut butter, you could probably fit your fat ass hand in there.
Oh man, I love that peanut butter. It's my only vice because I know when I eat it, it just goes straight to my hands. I'm imagining like a fucking Everlong scenario playing out here.
A moment on the lips, forever on the fingertips.
There it is.
Peanut butter's good.
Yahoo Answers user Asher responded, "Break or dislocate your thumb. Then your hand will slide right in and you can still use your other fingers to scoop out the peanut butter."
Why not just cut open the jar?
Yeah.
Listen, if she had access to a knife, she wouldn't need to put her whole mitt in the peanut butter jar. She
God
just gets
knows
them
she's
out.
not allowed to have sharp objects on the ward.
I think that we could make a pretty compelling sequel to 127 Hours here. Or instead of it being Aaron Ralston getting trapped under a rock in a canyon and having to cut his own arm off, it's a really dumb person that's like soup's hungry for peanut butter.
And halfway through, she'd masturbate to a picture of pizza she took on her digital camera.
Here's what I love. Her complaint is that her knife can't get to the peanut butter, and she wants to slim her hand down.
Yeah.
Just smaller than a knife? Is that what she's saying?
She wants Edward Scissorhands.
Ah.
Edward.
That old chestnut.
Edward peanut butter taste.
Listen, sometimes simple rudimentary tools aren't enough to get the job done. Your finger is the most elegant tool that God ever made.
The finger is the most elegant peanut butter scooping tool. It's a great intersection of flexibility and.
Haven't you seen the videos of like the chimpanzee like trying to get the thing, like the honey out of the beaker, and then like a little kid tries to do it and the little kid can't do it because he's so fucking stupid, but the chimpanzee just dips his finger in there and it's like syrup.
Can I have some of yours, little kid? Like that? Like he eats the little kid's honey too?
He goes to the little kid. He's like, "Give me that, you dumb fuck."
Come here, you got some nits in your hair that I'm gonna eat. I'm protecting you now, like my child.
Your fingers are made. These fingers are made for scooping, and that's just what they'll do.
I would love to see this person's keyboard that they typed this question out. Pretty sticky, right? We would have to agree. Pretty sticky.
I would say its stickiness rating is 10 out of 10.
The P and B keys are like worn down to nuts. For all the PB forums, this person's on.
You know what? I'd like to see the roof of her mouth. What's going on up there?
Oh boy! Can you do any tongue twisters? I cannot. Not since the mid-70s.
Ancient reservoirs of sweet peanut butter.
They have kinds that they don't even make up there. There's Peter Pan up there. So in closing, kill yourself. I guess I don't know. Like I don't have a good answer for this person. They've set themselves up with a logistical conundrum.
You gotta pick your favorite PB scoop and fing. Pick your
finger.
Thank you. I think they understood what I meant when I said PB scoop and fing.
All right, no, like you've bought into the reality that this person has absorbed you into.
You
the
pick
best PB scoop thing is like a spoon or something.
Choose your favorite fing. Cut all the others off. You only need that one.
That would actually streamline the hand enough that they can get whatever their favorite. I don't want to bias them, but they could get their favorite peanut butter scooping finger, slice the rest off, and just make like the perfect PB tool,
like a hand proboscis. Like,
could they get another mouth on their finger? Is that possible?
Hey, science, can you do this for us?
Hey, science, I'm tired of lifting it all the way to my mouth.
Yeah.
If I could just put my proboscis.
I need to cut out the middleman and just turn my middle finger into a proboscis, which I can use to sop up all the sweet PB.
I'm now sad. This question
I've been sad for about 2.5 minutes.
I'm hungry.
Let's go.
This weekend, I'm headed to my friend's bachelor party for a weekend of food, fun, fine beverages, and frivolity. I plan on driving out with a friend of mine who lives in town since the party is 2 hours away. The only problem is that the party starts pretty early in the morning. We're playing mini golf at 9. And now the friend I'm driving with refuses to wake up early enough to get us there on time. I would really like to be there for the whole party since the groom is a good friend of mine, and I'm sure it will be a good time. With rising gas prices, it would be an expensive weekend to drive alone. How can I make it to the party on time? Worrisome in Wisconsin. Finally, some advice that everyone can apply to their lives. How do I make it to the bachelor mini golf by myself early enough in the morning? Tell your friend that you will make a little bed for him, a little nap zone right there in the passenger seat. And then you go up to his room. He has to give you his house keys. You go up to his room. You open the door. You lovingly, like a parent whose child has fallen asleep watching their favorite Disney film. Look at his face.
He's tuckered.
Plump tuckered. You've known each other for years. Just scoop him up and hold him close. Make sure get his banky, get his winky, get his boinky. Pick all 4 of them up, himself included, and carry him down. Shh. Oh. Careful. There's a roller skate on the steps. Oh, good. You missed it. And then just lay him down in the passenger seat and stroke his hair. Maybe turn on some soothing music. Maybe some Raffi, some Sharon Lois and Bram.
I know you've got some Nora Jones in that CD box.
Don't know why you're driving to mini golf this early. Something like that. Put that on and just let him sleep the whole trip. Done. He doesn't even have to wake up. He'll wake up and... Oh, what a good... Mini golf. Like, what could be better?
I want to throw out one change to that.
Okay.
Don't tell him beforehand.
Uh-oh. Where am I?
And maybe don't take him to mini golf. Take him somewhere else and let him find his way to mini golf. But also steal his wallet and cell phone and keys.
Okay, so you're creating more of a Hitcher scenario where it's like a life or death.
Yeah.
test.
And just leave a note pinned to a shirt that says, "Waking up early doesn't seem like such a bad idea anymore, does it?"
Good luck. Call if you die. I think just let him sleep, and you can take him, and everything will be fine. And then when you wake up, just make him pay for gas. Tell him he can sleep the whole time. I do have to say though, whoever this bachelor is, or
He's
whoever,
the worst fucking
what
guy
the
on the planet.
fuck? Who makes
Hey,
people wake up
listen.
that early?
I know I'm already like super inconveniencing you by making you come to my wedding, but also you're gonna drive 2 hours to come play fucking mini golf. Like,
Sorry about it being so early. It was the best tea time I could get.
yeah.
Do you know before my friend Tommy Red's wedding, the day of, he did a traditional bachelor party, and then the day of the wedding, before he actually went and got married, we went to the zoo to watch monkeys jerk it. It's 100% true. We did that, and then we left. That was a pretty good start to the wedded bliss, I guess.
Mini golf is like the shittiest bachelor party, I think.
I don't think it's
worst thing.
just mini golf. I think they're starting with mini golf.
That's
You
so
think it's-
early, though. If you start partying at 9 o'clock, like you can't party all day. Maybe that's the idea, but
Do you think it's sexy mini golf? Like there's
Ooh.
there are ladies there that dance while they play it.
to try to distract them, you mean, with their hips and shaking and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah. So like instead of a windmill, it's like a sexy lady, and maybe she's like swinging her arms, like. Trying to
Just
And if you're
shaking
lucky,
them around.
at the end of the game, they'll put out.
Please go to the next question.
Last night, I ordered delivery from a local eatery. When the food showed up, it happened to be delivered by a friend of mine who I met this semester. We chatted a bit, and when I wondered what I was supposed to do for a tip, it's weird tipping a friend because it's like paying them for hanging out. Am I supposed to tip more because he's a friend? What do I do if this situation rises again? Okay. Ben. That's from Ben. Ben, it may have seemed weird to you, but I'm pretty sure he probably wanted that tip.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The answer is you tip more.
Yeah, because, like, he's your friend, so it's an opportunity to give him money guilt-free, so you should probably just give him, probably give him a good amount of money.
I like how that question evolved from, it was some dude that I met this semester, but he's, like, my best friend, so I shouldn't have to tip him, right?
Like,
no.
we're too close for that, I think. Here's the thing. You just want to it's not weird. You just want to give them, because it's like, it's their job, so they want to get paid to do it. Like, so just give them a nicer tip than you would normally give to somebody. And I think that they'll have warm feelings about you, and they won't break up with your friendship.
And I tell you, as a dude who delivered food, when I rolled up to a friend's house, in my mind, like, it was a big check mark of, now I know I'm getting a good tip because they're my friend. They're going to appreciate that, hey, I know this guy. So if you were like, oh, this is weird, nope.
Could we play on that? If you're like a food deliverer in a small town, can you just be friends with everyone? So people are like, oh,
sick.
Ben's here.
I think
It's
that's a great
Ben.
idea.
Let's make it rain on that fool.
Let's take it one step further and
Get
say
Ben
that
so paid.
set up a delivery service for your friends. Where, like, say that they're sitting around, they want some Taco Bell. They call you, you drive to Taco Bell, pick up their food, and bring it to them, and they tip you.
Or you get a whole network of people at your food station, at your food stand, so that you have a person for every single person that lives in your town. They'd be like, hey, anybody know Jerry? You're like, I know Jerry. Like, go get him. Go get his tips.
Go get that za and bring it to him. How embarrassing was what this person ordered that they say they ordered delivery from a local eatery? What did you get? Because there's something you're hiding here. You're covering up something, Ben. I'm a good enough detective. I'm a good enough private dick to know when someone's hiding a food choice.
Oh, maybe
What did
that's
you
it. Hey,
What?
hey Ben, here's your novelty dick-shaped pizza. Happy Valentine's Day.
This is the first one we've made of these.
Is there a
Mother's Day.
dick-shaped pizza that's not a novelty? Here's your average, boring dick-shaped pizza.
Here's your run-of-the-mill. Just give him a tasty tip, and I think that you'll be friends. Griffin,
Mm-hmm.
you got any more of those Yahoo answers just sort of lying around?
Yeah, how about this one? How about this? This one was sent in by Haley Keller. Thank you, Haley.
Thanks, Hales.
It's by Yahoo Answers user. Iggy is being constantly reported. Thanks.
Okay.
Who asks, do you hate people who urinate loudly? I am listening to it right now. And it's taking all I have to not to start shouting at them to piss quietly. As I know that would sound strange, and I don't feel like I should be judging or trying to control the way people urinate when they are presumably relaxing and doing something private, but it's just a pet peeve, you might say. I can't stand the noise when it happens to me, so I can't understand people who urinate so loud that it sounds like the roof is going to cave in from water pressure.
Oh, God.
I don't mean normal urinating, by the way. I mean loud. Yes, I realize this question is weird.
Jimmy, turn down the nozzle.
Yeah, dog.
Hey, you're blowing my ears out.
Narrow your aperture. Like,
what kind of pressure are you dealing with? When was the last time you peed?
I do know what he's talking about, though. Not from not the annoyance, but you go into the bathroom, you see like some giant 60-year-old Greek dude. That's who it always seems to be. And he'll just open up. You're like, whoa, are you dumping out a big gulp in there? What's going on?
I want to go a little bit deeper and accept this question.
I bet you do. Gross.
What? Okay, I want to talk about technology in the modern day where this gentleman is able to listen to really loud urination and simultaneously ask Yahoo Answers about it. I feel like there needs to be some distance between those two events.
I presume he was just dictating it to his secretary. Is that not accurate? Margaret, take notes. Dictated but not read from Stephen Bilshop.
Can you control your pressure?
Oh, you gotta get that tantric peeing.
Oh God!
Oh no! It's beep boop. Bloop, 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 bloop. Okay, Sing, we get it.
It's not like a super soaker where like, oh, I pump it 4 times and it only goes 15
Yeah,
feet.
if you're in the studio with Sting, he's like, I want to go take a pee. Usually your answer is like, I'm gonna go to the DMV or go get a hotel room or something. Because I can't wait for that.
I'll see you tomorrow, Sting.
No, but the nice thing is he has so much control over it. He can do it in a second.
Right.
He can just walk in, done.
Just like it falls
but
out.
It sounds like Niagara Falls.
It sounds like somebody throwing a water balloon at a fat person. It's just like done, out. I do feel bad for Sting. I think he's got a bum rap because everybody talks about his tantric sex, and nobody remembers his hit music. Fields of Gold was written about his urination.
Stop it.
It's true.
To be fair, he is the poster boy of tantric anything, right? You hear the word tantric and immediately go to Sting.
I bet he loves that.
Have you ever played tantric mini golf with him?
That's why you have to start at 9.
It
Otherwise,
takes slightly longer than normal mini golf.
Yeah, Sting. Holy fuck! You shot a 730. How did you even do this? It's next week.
We missed the wedding.
We missed the wedding, Sting.
Sting, we missed the wedding by 6 whole days. How are you so bad at this?
Do you guys get a hint of jealousy from this question?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't it seem like this person wishes they could have
just a column of pee,
just a jet of urine,
a defiant blast of urine,
just something that like picks him up like a little kid holding a fire hose in an 80s movie, like spinning around, like whoa. Oh, speaking of making mouth noises, that's the guy I can't stand. Have the loudest urination you want, but I'm tired of these guys who start peeing and then go like what are they doing?
Yeah, they're enjoying themselves.
Is it time yet?
It's so time, man. Like for the money zone?
Yeah, like for the money zone. Graduate. I want to say the official 2011 graduate because we're probably going to get a lot of other graduates, but the official 2011 graduate of my brother, and me, and we are forsaking all other graduates.
That seems like a blessing and a curse. The amount of pressure that Allison has on her now to live up to that title.
To succeed, right?
You think she can slap that bitch on a resume?
Oh, yeah. So she got her degree in zoology, right? So when she rolls up to a zoo,
yeah.
I mean, it's the first thing that springs to mind. And she says, hey, Mr. Zookeeper, you should hire me to take care of the monkeys who are jerking it, because I am the official graduate of My Brother, and Me. And he's
class of 2000 in heaven.
Well, that makes it sound like she's dead.
Isn't she?
Is she not dead?
Now that college is over, it might as well be.
Oh,
It's all
God.
downhill from here.
You made the biggest mistake of your life.
Haven't you seen Van Wilder? You gotta stay in college, you guys. As long as you can.
College.
Word on my friends